we came up with an idea. I don't want to talk about it too much. What is to you?
The biggest takeaway from the process so far is
Then they have all these things on paper, but they still feel empty inside.
I've actually lost 20 kilos now. I'm actually here to expose Alan, specifically Alan Nguyen.
All right, today is day 2. I'm going to try and keep these daily vlogs going. I don't really know how I'm going to do this, but I'm thinking that I can just, take the camera with me and just record throughout the day and kind of do like an actual vlog based scenario. And then on other days, when I guess I'd forget to bring the camera around with me, I'll just do like an end of day reflection, run through what I did on the day and also the lessons that I learned. Because, with what I do, every single day is different. And one of my biggest regrets actually is not documenting my journey earlier. I wish I had documented my journey from the very start. It would have been nice to have something to look back on, but it's better later than never. So
I can make these choices and there's not a single shred of, guilt and...
I'm not as negative as I used to be. Totally different mindset.
I think you've just kind of unlocked something. I can control the next steps.
This is the best way to ever be. Yeah, I just feel better. I feel like just awesome, pretty much.
honestly, this recording thing, I think it's going to be a lot harder than I thought because I'm not used to bringing a camera around with me all day. So I thought I would give a little bit of an update on Coco, come here. Okay. All right, so anyway, I had a couple of calls. Then after that, I went to the city with my, oh my God, look at the hair. Jesus. Yeah, I went to the city with my partner. We went to drop off something. And then we went to buy some food from her friend's cafe. They just recently opened up a new cafe. And then now I'm home. I need to record 3 pieces of content. And then after that, I am going to meet up. We're going to have dinner with a client of mine who is now a friend of mine. I don't know exactly how much to tell you right now in this moment, because I used to have this thing where I used to overpromise a lot. Like I say I have this grand idea and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but nothing has even happened yet. So I want us to at least make a start with it before I actually kind of explain what it is. Basically, we have a business idea that we want to talk about in the realm of self-development. And as I mentioned in my video yesterday, I've recently discovered that my purpose in life is to help people transform, whether it be physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, just really help people transform and step into a better version of themselves. And through that process, really help people transcend their belief systems, because the only reason to why you are not where you want to be is because of your belief systems. It's the way that you think, act, and behave. So through my own personal development journey, I've developed a passion for helping others through that self-mastery journey as well. And basically Minh, I think I'll actually bring the camera later so that I can record a little bit with him. But Minh was a client who initially came to me for weight loss. He's now down 20 kilos. And when a client first starts, typically it's like, they have a plan, they follow the plan, they're just consistent, and they get to the result, right? But once they get to the result, the journey typically becomes something much bigger. Because when you get to a place where you are comfortable, what is the reason for you to continue driving forward? There's actually no reason. So you need to find a greater sense of purpose. And that sense of purpose typically lies in who you become in the process. If you are someone who stays consistent with your fitness, that says a lot about you in terms of your character, right? Because you've achieved the baseline, you're comfortable, you're content. So why would you continue pushing for more? A lot of our clients go on to, improve their physique, build muscle. Some of them work towards running their first marathon. And it's like, why would you work towards all of these goals? And it's actually not about the goal that they achieve, but it's more about who they become in the process. And for clients who stay beyond 1 year, their journey typically becomes one of a self-development journey, where yes, they're achieving all of these things, but because they're committed to constantly holding themselves to a high standard, they grow as individuals. And the things that they achieve in the process, confidence, self-belief, self-esteem, these things really translate to all other areas of their life, whether it be their career, whether it be their relationships, whether it be their ability to show up in social settings. And it really becomes about building the best version of themselves, not only physically, but also mentally, and then also spiritually. So it becomes a lot more of a self-mastery and self-development journey. And Min recently has gone through the initial stages of that. I've spoken to him a lot about being a lot more aware of his emotions, learning how to better process his emotions, learning to confront the parts of him that he has never really confronted before, and learning to face a lot of his limiting beliefs that are attached to maybe things within his childhood, or just things that he's learnt over the course of his life. And as a result of that, he's gone through a really big self-mastery and self-development journey himself. And I guess he's developed his own sense of purpose and passion. And we were out for brunch. We went out for brunch last week, and we were kind of just talking about, his journey, my journey, and we came up with an idea that I think will potentially help a lot of people be able to facilitate a lot of that inner work so that they can step into the best version of themselves. But we're actually meeting up today. We're going to have dinner, him and his partner, me and my partner, and yeah, just kind of chat about it, maybe come up with a minimum viable product on how it could work. And if it goes somewhere and if we think it's viable, I think this will be big. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't want to make it too big of a deal until we actually have something a bit more concrete. But whether it's viable or whether it's not viable, I think it's just something fun, it's something fun. And we get to connect, we get to have dinner together, we get to talk about something that means a lot to the both of us. So I think it's going to be fun.
Hello everyone in the world and YouTube. My name is Minh. I'm actually here to expose Alan, specifically Alan Nguyen. He's exploiting his friends for content. It's 11 p.m. on a weekday. I got work tomorrow. And he's asked me to do this video for his vlog because he promised you guys that he would do a 5-minute interview with me.
I'll bring the camera along and maybe I'll do like a 5-minute interview with Min, get his thoughts on.
And he forgot. Jokes aside though, how I met Alan was through my fitness journey, and we've been working together for about a year now. It started off as a coach and coachee sort of relationship, and over the time we've been working together, this guy actually took me on like a whole self-mastery, self-development journey that I honestly didn't really sign up for, but he took me there anyways. I was able to really find my purpose, be a lot more aware of my emotions, and got a lot more confident. What I've achieved so far with Alan is I've actually lost 20 kilos now, feeling a lot more confident in myself, being in my own skin, a lot more conscious, and being very intentional in my everyday life. Besides the physical achievements, I feel like the biggest change or the biggest value I've got out of him is having a friend that understand my mindset, understand the person behind the conversations. The biggest takeaway from the process so far is the realization that structures matter. In all my experiences so far, having the right environment, having the right structure, and taking that first step is extremely important. I'm a lot more motivated, but also the discipline, the awareness, the intentionality bleeds through every other aspect of my life as well. I did not know this guy like I know him now, and I had all the reasons to say no. But if I have said no, then I would have been one yes away from everything that I have today.
I want you to run me through your perception of what this idea is. We have to be on the same page in terms of what it is, what problem does it solve, what is the concept, what is the vision? Because we can't start until we are on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it represents a movement where it's like a lot of people could come together on a shared journey.
I understand the purpose, but I don't understand how it works.
When you say all in the same path, then what is the path?
We live in a society where for so many years there is a path that is laid out for us. Work, school, kids, you get a mortgage, you have a family, and you do all of these things that society tells you to do. And as a result, you don't have that time to do the inner work. You spend so much time focusing on the external that you never get the time to focus on the internal. Society has programmed them to want these things, but they get to a point where they've achieved all these things and they have all these things on paper, but they still feel empty inside.
If we have a piece of wood, we stand on a piece of wood, fucking shocks it, they're all fucking dead. It's mass execution of AI. We're the Terminator and shit.
I just thought about it like we're farmers and no one's gonna be there with us, you know?
Oh, okay.
So the time is 1:11 in the morning and we just got home. Overall, it was actually quite a fun night. Yeah, I'm not really someone who socializes too much, so just having the ability to catch up with friends, it was actually very productive. We got through a lot more than I thought we would get through. So the first thing for us was just kind of determining a vision of what I perceived the product to be and Min's vision for what he perceived the product to be. It was really important for us to come together and actually kind of brainstorm what our perception of the product was so that we could be on the same page whilst building this product, because I just didn't want to get to a point where we're 2-3 months in and then we clash on an idea because he thinks that the product should go in one way and then I think that the product should go in another way. And I'm not really going to get too specific on what the product actually is, but what I will share is that the intention is for it to be in the self-development space. It is a product that is going to allow people to find a sense of inner peace, giving them tools to go through their own self-development journey so that they can achieve a sense of self-mastery, which allows them to go through their life with a sense of purpose, fulfillment, and intentionality. So that's kind of a bit of a synopsis of what we want to build, but I won't go into the specifics until we actually have something a bit more concrete. After that, we kind of determine an MVP, a minimum viable product. Let's just call it like an initial first draft of the product, some like a simplified version of it that we can test. My job after this will be to create a small pool of testing users who can test this product. Min's role will be to create the product. It's really good in the sense that we play different roles. Something that I've come to learn is that if you are going to partner up with someone, especially from a business perspective, you have to play different roles and you have to almost complement each other. Like if you're going to partner up and you guys are exactly the same, you have exactly the same skill sets, it's almost no point. You could just do it yourself, right? But I think I play a lot more of the visionary role, whereas Min plays a lot more of the technician role. I think about things in ways that he doesn't really think about them, and Min thinks about like things in ways that I never would have thought about it, before. So I guess we complement each other in that degree. So that's really good. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I truly believe what we've come up with has a lot of potential, and now it's just about doing the work, doing the time, and just going through the experience. I've built a business before, so I understand kind of how it goes. Like when you first have an idea of a business, the funnest thing is to sit down and ideate and think about how it could work and basically plan, right? Planning is always the fun part. But once you plan and you actually go and you create the thing and you try to bring your vision to life, that's where you're going to run into all of these problems. You're going to run into all of these roadblocks. And the challenge is, can you stay in the game long enough? Can you stay resilient enough to get through all these roadblocks so that you can get to the other side? Because that's where a lot of people fall off. There are thousands and thousands of great ideas, but can you actually go through the tough times, solve the problems, overcome each roadblock so that you can eventually get to the other side? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I believe that your ability to get through all of these roadblocks comes down to having a sense of purpose. If you don't have a sense of purpose, you don't have a sense of passion for what you're doing, it's very hard for you to kind of go through those rough patches when, you know, things are uncertain and you don't really know how things are going to work out. And for both Min and I, it's our first time building a product like this, so I am expecting that things will come up that we don't necessarily know how to solve, and I just have a sense of trust that when they do come, we will figure our way out. So I'm not necessarily too scared about it, but I am excited for the challenge.